There we go. Check two. All right, you can turn it down a little bit. All right. I'm ready.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Will you please stand and join us in singing our gathering song, My Soul is Welcome Here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to our Sunday morning celebration service. Good to see you. I'm glad to be back. Many of you know I was away on a cruise for 2 weeks and then came back with the flu. And this is the first time I've been out of the house for 2 weeks. So good to be here, to be with you. And if you're asking me how I'm doing, I'm about 98%.
Hey, Jude.
So I'm glad to be here. And now I'm really glad to be here. So for you online, say welcome. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm happy to be back. I got sick on the last night of the cruise, and this is the first day I've been out in 2 weeks. I had the flu, and everything is good. I'm 98%. All right. So I'm glad to be here and glad to see all your smiling faces. Thank you. I missed you too. Actually, I watched the last coffee house was the Friday night right after I left, and Doreen had put up on the Connected Souls page on Facebook, which I could not share from to the Unity page, by the way. And of the last song, they did a Jackson Browne medley, and it was so wonderful. And I was like feeling so sorry for myself. I started to cry. I was like, oh, I miss church. I miss everybody. And so it's really, really good to be back. And welcome to all who are watching on Facebook and YouTube. And I know some folks who watch on YouTube are Jess and Phil. And let's see who else, Lana, and perhaps Bobby, if you're on YouTube. I don't know where everybody is. I said Lana, MJ, and who? Tom. Is it Tom? Ted. MJ and Ted sometimes watch on YouTube. Sorry, Ted. I'm still not firing on all cylinders. All right. Let's see who's on Facebook. Let's see, Coral is on Facebook. Hi, Bertha, good to see you. Rita, welcome. Johanna, good to see you online. Ellen, and Don, and 6 other people apparently that I don't get to know their names. Stacy Goldstein just popped up. So good morning, everybody who's watching on YouTube and Facebook. Glad you are here. And glad you are all here in this room. If you are here for the first time and you would like a welcome packet and you are comfortable in doing so, please raise your hand so Ricky and Chuck can see you if you would like to get a welcome packet. Nobody? Okay, somebody, one person in the back. And for those of you who are online and you would like a welcome packet, there is the address right there, admin@Unity of Stuart. You can email May and let her know that you would like to receive a welcome packet. In that welcome packet, there's information about our Unity right here of Stuart and our Unity movement. There are prayer requests/intention forms in that. If you take that, fill it out and put it in the prayer box. Our chaplains will pray over your prayer. There is also a form, if you fill it out and take it back to the welcome podium, that will put you on our weekly email list. And that's mostly what we send out. And if we have a special event, we send something, but it doesn't clutter up your inbox. So we invite you to do all that, and we invite you to do that as well at home. So, see, prayer chaplains. So we have we have a prayer chaplain. We have Nancy Bach, who is also a board member, and she is here if you would like some personal prayer. She'll be in the sanctuary after service to pray with you. And that is usually short and sweet, and everything that you pray about will be held in the highest confidence. Alternatively, and as well as, you can email us at prayer@unityofstuart.org or call our mothership at Silent Unity Prayer Line, and they will be delighted and honored to pray with you. Oh, thank you to Rose Peterson, Mike Taylor, Linda and John Hart, Ray Rice, and all who shared in the fun on the karaoke night this past Friday. Rose, please stand up. And Ray Rice and Mike Taylor. You know, Linda and John are not here. So I heard that it was really fun and it went really well. And thank you for organizing and making that happen. Tuesday meditation, that is ongoing with our Cheryl Roby on 10 a.m. and every Tuesday live on Facebook. And now to get to where I was going is there's three things going on in our lives and in our country. Today is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers and all the men who have cared for children. Happy Father's Day. And it is also Pride Month. And so Pride Month centers on the stories, celebrations, work, and issues of the LGBTQ+ community. And that the Pride is a fight for freedom, liberation, and joy without exception. And yes, thank you. And we're also, tomorrow is Juneteenth. And as you know, June 19th marks the day when the last enslaved people in the United States learned that they were free. And you know that we still have a lot of work to do in all of those areas. And yeah. So as always, we have with us the Joyful Noise Band and Choir. And our special music today features Doreen with an original song to help celebrate Pride Month. Okay. Oh, some more gratitude. Great gratitude to our music team, to our board president, Linda Hart, to Mary Claire Dykema, and for serving you all while I was away, and our guest speakers, Amy Steinberg, Charmaine Davis, and John Polici. A special thanks to John for jumping in at the last minute on Saturday afternoon when I realized it's crazy for me to think I could come to church on last Sunday. And he stepped in as well as Linda Hart. So thank you to all of you all. And I just saw the roof for the first time. We got a new roof. So thank you to all who supported our new roof. Next thing is the gutters. We just have to pick a color for the gutters. And for board members, any board members in the room today? David, who else? I think that's it, you and me. We're going to pick a color for the ducks today. All right, so after church, let's pick that color so we can get that moving. Nancy, we can get that moving. We have to pick a color for the duck work. So for the gutters, not ducks, gutters. All right, but I digress. Let's see, we do have some goodies in the kitchen if you join us on the patio after getting your coffee and cookies. All right, I got way off my script here, just so we know. All right, as we are getting ready to dedicate our service today, I would like to share with you Unity Worldwide Ministries, a piece of their social action statement, considering we're celebrating Pride Month and Juneteenth. I just want to read this to you so you get a sense of what our bigger movement is all about. The Unity movement stands for and will tirelessly work for harmony so all people may know the freedom of peaceful expression, so that they may know their own inner worth and essential contribution to the whole of life. Where there are divisions of opinions, beliefs, and perspectives, unity embraces curiosity, exploration, and expanded awareness of the gifts of diversity. Where there is fear of the other, unity stands for inclusivity and peaceful acceptance of another's right to create the life of their choosing. Where there is oppression and hatred, we stand for justice and understanding, and for extending compassion, kindness, and forgiveness to restore balance. Where there is discrimination, we stand for inclusivity and equality. We pledge to be an advocate for the well-being, respect, and civil freedom of every human being. Any proposal or action that seeks to discriminate against individuals or classes of individuals based on prejudiced, stereotypic profiles of national origin, class, creed, race, ethnicity, physical ability, sexual orientation, or gender identity is in opposition to the core beliefs and values established by our founders. We choose unity. In harmony with the divine spirit we stand, so we may live in a spiritually awakened world that is continually evolving. This is our prayer and our decree. Through our actions, let it be. Please join me in dedicating today's service and our lives to being resolute in walking the path of human rights and social justice for all. I am an expression of unlimited spirit. I am an expression of unlimited spirit. Sometimes I identify so closely with my day-to-day life that I lose sight of my divine nature. Today, I remember and reclaim who I am. I am a limitless spirit, expressing uniquely at the point of me. I boldly affirm I am not my body. I am the one who lives in my body. I am not my emotions. I am the one who feels my feelings. I am not my thoughts. I am the thinker of my thoughts. Beyond and behind the physical, emotional, and mental activity is the real me. Indwelling spirit is unlimited, infinite, and boundless. That is who I am. I live in perfect harmony with my divine identity. I speak the mindful expression of my I am with affirming, empowering words. I am whole. I am peaceful. I am loving. I am prosperous. I am blessed. I am a beloved expression of God. I am grateful. And I invite you to join me in a deep breath as we allow these words to fall gently upon us, moving in and through us, rearranging our minds, rearranging our thoughts, rearranging our notion of who we truly are. We are spirit, unlimited, at depth. I am an expression of unlimited spirit, and so it is. Amen. And I invite you, that's not what I wanted you to say. All right, well, let's say, I'll repeat it. I'll say it and you can repeat it after me. I am an expression of unlimited spirit together. I am an expression of unlimited spirit. And let's take that deep breath. Anchoring this affirmation as we affirm one more time together. I am an expression of unlimited spirit. And so it is. Amen. And as we prepare for prayerful meditation, let's sing Grateful. grateful. Let's take a deep breath as we allow gratitude to fill us from the inside out. Gratitude for being here this morning. Gratitude for our spiritual community. And gratitude for anything that is in your mind and heart. And as we continue to take some deep, conscious breaths, I invite you to allow your shoulders to drop, your body to relax as fully as you are able. You might want to just check where you'll be holding some tension. And if you're holding some tension, just send your breath there to that place and release. Let go. Let spirit be spirit in, through, and as you. And be here now, in this breath, in this now moment, knowing that spirit is here, ever present, ever loving, ever abundant. Another deep breath, if you will. Breathing in the joy, peace, prosperity, and the love of spirit. That universal love. The mystery of oneness. And set the intention to be one, with that mystery. And now a simple breathing exercise. Breathing in, I invite you to say to yourself, God is. And breathing out, I invite you to say to yourself, I am. Breathing in, God is. Out, I am. God is. I am. You may wish to envision that breath is like a circle. God is, I am. Circle with no beginning and no end. God is, I am. In the quiet. God is. I am. And in this sacred circle, this sacred space that we have co-created with Spirit, I invite you to bring into your awareness all of those who are on our prayer list here at Unity of Stuart, and all of those that are in our minds and hearts this morning. Seeing each one lifted up, healed, whole, safe, cared for, free. And if you'd like to speak out names into the sacred space, now's the time. And turning our prayers and our loved ones over into the care and keeping of the One. I invite you to join me in praying this in the name, in the nature, in the light, in the love of the indwelling Christ consciousness. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Rini. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. Let's sing.
We are one in the Spirit. We are one in our love. We are one in the Spirit. We are one in our love. And we know that our unity will this day rise above. And we'll know we're one family by our love, by our love. Yes, we'll know we're one family by our love. We will walk with each other. We will walk hand in hand. We will walk with each other. We will walk hand in hand. And together we'll spread the news that God is in our land. And we'll know we're one family by our love, by our love. Yes, we'll know we're one family by our love. Yes, we'll know we're one family by our love.
As they're getting ready to do special music, I just want to bring your attention to our choir. I generally don't say the names of the choir, but I want to say them today. That's Julia, and that's Diane, and that's Jane. Welcome Jane back. She's been on a hiatus, so she's back. And there's, I'm not firing, Jill and Lisa and Mike. And I know their names, I swear. So, well, thank you. Thanks for being here. All right. What are you
That was a
laughing at?
test.
Oh, yeah. I failed miserably.
Good morning. So it's hard to believe, but I wrote this song 10 years ago.
Wow. Wow.
And it was at a time when gay marriage wasn't legal, wasn't allowed. There were a lot of people who were fighting it. Still to this day. Some people are trying to put us back to where we were 10 years ago. So this was, felt this in my heart to write this song. And I still feel it in my heart, some of the things I say in here. And Reverend Jude's going to put the lyrics to the chorus up there. It's an original song, so you're not going to know the tune. But after you hear it, maybe the first time, you can join us on the second and the third time of the chorus. So here we go. It's called Let Your Love Shine Bright. 1, 2. If God is love and love is God, why is this country always at odds? There's love of a sister, love of a brother, children and pets, father and mother. There are couples in love, a woman and man, and those who are ready to place a ban on the love between women and the love of two men. They claim that these lovers should only be friends, but love that's united in God's loving grace deserves our acceptance as we embrace that love is free to all. Regardless of gender, stand tall. We all deserve rights without having to fight. Let your love shine bright as sunlight. Let your love shine bright as sunlight. We say we believe in a God that's all-loving. Then we stand witness to pushing and shoving, protests and shouting, marches and signs. Are we coming together or in rapid decline? Let's halt all the hatred and stop all the fights and accept that we all should have equal rights, for the all-knowing God invites one and all to gather together and heed the call to see one another as equals in life. Let go of judging and all the strife. Yes, love is free to all. Regardless of gender, stand tall. We all deserve rights without having to fight. Let your love shine bright as sunlight. Let your love shine bright as sunlight. I picture a world full of wonder and peace, one where we're willing to say let's increase understanding, respect, joy and harmony, with love always flowing between you and me. Yes, love is free to all. Regardless of gender, stand tall. We all deserve rights without having to fight. Let your love shine bright as sunlight. Let your love shine bright as sunlight. Let your love shine bright as sunlight. Ooh.
Thank you, Doreen. So in this country that we live in this state that we live in, there are a lot of folks trying to roll back things that we thought we were secure in, and trying to make happen justice for people with black and brown skin that they haven't had in full for 400 years or more. So when I hear a song like that and think about what we stand for here at Unity, as I read that social action statement, and tying into today's lesson, which is really about being in the present and about not waiting, right? Not being in that space of waiting, but in that space of knowing and being in the present. I'd like to just invite you to open your heart and minds to this lesson through this lens of that there, for those of us who are white and also male, of course, it's in the hierarchy, the top of the pyramid, if you will. But for all of those that are white, cisgender, which if you don't know what that means, it means that what we look like represents who we are on the inside, and what we are on the inside is represented by what we look like on the outside. So I'm a cisgender white woman, I'm a heterosexual white woman, and that's how I present, right? And for those of us who aren't part of those minorities, like the LGBTQ, transgender folks are in the firing line right now. And for those of us who don't have brown or black skin, our voices need to be heard loud and over and over and over again. So let us dedicate ourselves to being, especially the white folks, the non-gay folks, and the non-queer folks, and allow our voices to be heard. And okay. Quote from our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. God is, and we are. Let us live in God's world, not a world to be tomorrow, next month, next year, or next century, but here and now. God's beautiful universe is all around us, only awaiting our acknowledgement of its presence. Let us know God and live. Live with joy, live with love, health, and peace. Here, evermore. Right here, right now. Today we're going to look at what it's like to be present and to be available to being present, which this passage invites us to do. Be aware in the here and now. Be fully and consciously connected to the one presence and the one power, the ultimate reality, the divine presence, which only knows the present. Which only knows the present. One afternoon, I decided to make a start on cleaning my garage. So I started toward the laundry room where the garage door is, and I noticed that there was some laundry that needed to be sorted and washed. So I said, okay, to myself, I thought, okay, I'm going to go start the garage, but first, I'm going to sort this laundry and start a load. And as I'm sorting the laundry, I noticed that the litter boxes, which are in that same room, needed to be cleaned. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll get to the garage, but first, I'll clean the litter boxes. I clean the litter boxes, and as I'm going out back to put that trash in the outside trash can, I notice that the recycling needs to be emptied. So I said, okay, I'm going to get in the garage, but first I'm going to take the trash out, and then I'm going to take out the recycling. And so I come into the house, I get that done, and I'm planning on going to the garage, and I wash my hands, and the phone rings. So I'll clean the garage, but first I'm going to go to my desk, and I'm going to take this phone call. And the phone call turns out to be about an hour of a phone call. And I'm sitting in front of my computer, and I hang up the phone, and I'm going to go into the garage, but first I notice that there's some emails that I have to go through. So I check the email, and after checking my email, I notice it's 5 o'clock, and it's much too late to start cleaning the garage. Anybody else? My people. That's what happens when we're not in the present. That's what happens when our distracting mind gets in the way. The present is my point of power. The present is my point of power. Will you say that with me? The present is my point of power. And why aren't we in the present 100% of the time? Well, A, we're human. And that's what happens. But here's 3 things I want to talk about this morning. Why we're not in the present. Because we're living in regret. We're dissatisfied with our present. We're trying to escape it. Or we're looking toward the future. So let's explore each of those. The past. Many of us spend mental time, lots of mental time in the past. We regret it. We beat ourselves up over it. We beat others up over it. We relive it over and over and over again, revising it, going into that place of woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Do you all know the best television show ever? Ted Lasso. Do you all know about Ted Lasso? If you have Apple Plus TV, and watch it. If you don't, get it and watch it. It's one of the best shows ever on television. It's about meanness and cruelty, and rising above that with kindness and love and acceptance. And so, if you don't know what Ted Lasso is about, it's about an American football coach who moves to England to coach a British football team, a soccer team, knowing nothing about soccer, and chaos ensues. But in one scene on an episode of Ted Lasso, I think it's in the first season, one of his players makes a mistake that results in a goal for the other team. And he's beating himself up over it on the pitch, they call it. And Ted Lasso calls the player over to the sideline to have a little chat with him. And he says to him, it's actually Sam he's talking to, what's the happiest animal in the world? Ted Lasso asks Sam. And Sam says, I have no idea. And Lasso replies, goldfish. You know why the goldfish is the happiest animal on earth? Again, Sam has no clue. Lasso answers, because the goldfish has a 10-second memory. Wouldn't you love to have a 10-second memory sometimes? Not all the time, obviously. But wouldn't you love to have a 10-second memory sometimes? Sometimes my kids will say to me, do you remember when you were so mad at me about all that and blah, blah, blah? I say, no, I'm blessed with a short memory when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? I'm blessed with a short memory. So it's important to review the past and to gain wisdom from it, but not to live there. I say this time and again. We can think about things that have happened in our lives, but not wallow in it. There is a fine line between looking at the past and wallowing in it and pitching a tent there. That's not what we want to do. We want to look at the past, gain the wisdom from it, and then move on with what we have been taught. That's what is ours to do. See the lessons from our past, and then incorporate those lessons into the here and now. Incorporating that wisdom. So let's leave all that in the past and get to dissatisfaction, the second reason why we don't stay in the present. Dissatisfaction with our life right now. This is a state of mind that robs us of being in the present. We spend time thinking about what we'd rather be doing and what we don't like about our present now, rather than being grateful for what we're doing right now and what we have right now in this moment. We spend time looking for what's wrong rather than seeing the good that is everywhere present. I invite you to do an experiment with me. If you're comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. Oh, just take a deep breath. And I invite you to make a mental checklist of all the things in your life. Home, car, bank account, possessions, friends, family, pets, jobs, hobbies, social activities, church. Make a checklist of all those things. Bring them into your mind's eye. As much of what is in your life as you possibly can. And how do you feel about it? If your home needs work, bank account could be bigger, friends are okay, wish I had more, whatever it is. And I think about your feelings about all of that. And now imagine that you get a phone call telling you that you've lost it all. Everything in your life is now gone. Home, car, bank account, possessions, friends, family, pets, jobs, hobbies, social activities, church. How does that feel? And be with that for a moment. Now the phone rings again and you're told that you were given misinformation. You didn't lose anything. Everything that was in your life still is. You've got it all back. And how does that feel? And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. The present might look a little bit better now to you than it did before when you thought maybe you had lost everything. I had a dream when I was pregnant with my first daughter. And I was staying, there was work going on in my home, and I was staying with my sister and sleeping up in the attic. And there was another friend that had a room up there as well. And I had a dream that I lost everything and that nobody loved me. I mean, literally, I had the dream that nobody loved me. Everybody just said, we don't love you anymore. We don't need to have you in our lives. I woke up sobbing. Like I woke myself up sobbing, and Doreen, the other friend that was there, was like, "Are you okay?" Because I was like 8 months pregnant at that time. "You okay? Is everything all right?" Yes, I just had a dream that nobody loved me. And to me, that's the epitome of thinking to lose everything. So for us, when we think our life is crap, or our relationships aren't what we'd like them to be, or anything, is to just to go back to that place of being here now and generating that love and that abundance within us so that we are not knocked down by the things that are happening in our lives. That God is, I am, in every moment. Let's move to the future. We often live in the future. I lived in the future for the past 2 weeks. Well, I lived in the future for almost a year thinking about going on this cruise, right, to the British Isles, waiting to go on the cruise. Oh, it's going to be great, talking about the cruise all the time with my sisters. And so living in the future and then getting home from the cruise and getting sick and then waiting to get better. Why is this happening? Worry and fretting about what will come, right? And that was the same for me on the cruise and the same with waiting to get well. We work to schedule things, to hope things are going to work out, to be afraid that something might not go out, might not work out. We're always trying to figure things out, right? I'm not the only one, right? And waiting for something to happen. Now, it's really important that we have a vision for the future. That's true. And to set intentions and goals. And then what we're called to do at that point is to release all of that and live in the presence. Live in the present and in the presence. To live in the present. To do everything we can from that human perspective and then release it, turn it over to Spirit, and live in the here and now. Eckhart Tolle, the author of The Power of Now, suggests that we have become a people of habitual waiters. Not the waiters in a restaurant, but waiting for things. How much of your life do you spend waiting? He calls something small scale waiting, you know, when we're waiting in line at the post office, or if we're in a traffic jam or at the airport, or waiting for someone to arrive to finish work, and so on and so on. Large scale waiting is waiting for the next vacation, for a better job, for the children to grow up, for a truly meaningful relationship, for success, to make money, to become important, to get enlightened. How many of us are waiting on a large scale? It's not uncommon for people to wait their whole lives to begin living. It's those people that live in the when this happens, I'll be this. When this happens, I'll be happy. When this happens, I'll write a book. When this happens, I'll go back to school. Waiting for something to happen. Eckhart Tolle says, waiting is a state of mind. Basically, it means that you want the future, you don't want the present. You don't want what you've got, you want what you haven't got. With every kind of waiting, you unconsciously create inner conflict because you're here now where you don't want to be, and the projected future where you want to be. This greatly reduces the quality of life by making you lose the present. Does that make sense? With every kind of waiting, you unconsciously create inner conflict between your here and now, where you don't want to be, and the projected future where you do want to be. That's where the conflict lies. And we lose the quality of life when we don't stay in the present. So he strongly suggests giving up waiting as a state of mind. He says when you find yourself snapping into waiting, catch yourself slipping into waiting, snap out of it. Come into the present moment. Just be and enjoy being. This also happened to me on our cruise. I got sick the night before we were starting our very long travel day to come home, to go from the cruise ship to the Amsterdam to the Schiphol airport, and then to get on the flight to Dulles, and then from Dulles to New Jersey. All in all, it took 26 hours from opening our eyes in the morning, and I was feeling sick. That's when I started to really feel sick. And so we get to Amsterdam, to Schiphol airport, and we get on the plane, and we do our 7 hours and 40 minutes across the pond, if you will, and get to Dulles. And now my sister and I are both feeling really badly. She's actually got a fever, and she's got the chills. And I wasn't that bad at that point. And so we're sitting there, and we were supposed to have a 2-hour layover. And we go to the gate. You know how it happens. Okay, we're delayed. So instead of taking off at whatever time it was, 2:30, we're going to take off at 3:30. Okay, all right. So then we're sitting there, we're waiting. And then in about another half an hour comes the next delay, and another hour delay. And so, so what happens a lot of time when I'm in that position of this human being and human doing, I get frustrated. What the heck, and you hear people grumbling, and a couple of my sisters were grumbling. And I decided, okay, I can sit here and be doubly miserable by complaining, or I can sit here and meditate and just enter into like just feeling what I'm feeling, which was not great, and just breathing and meditating and affirming my wholeness, right? And isn't that a better way to handle waiting than complaining and getting all sorts of tied up in a pretzel with nothing I can do anything about it? I can only make myself as comfortable as I could and use the tools that I know to be in that now moment. And that helps. It really helps a lot if we don't allow ourselves to get into that place of bemoaning where we are in every moment. And again, when I got home and I realized I was sicker than I've been in decades, I was waiting to feel better, right? And what was going through my mind was, oh man, I should have gotten a flu shot. I should have washed my hands more on the cruise ship. And then catching myself every time and to keep myself out of those woulda, shoulda, couldas, and just say, okay, here I am. I have the flu. I feel crappy. I feel lousy. What's the next step? Take care of myself. Take care of myself. Don't feel guilty about not going back to work after I was gone for 2 weeks, and just take care of myself. Know that everything is taken care of. All is well. I am well. And I have to confess, I had to go to that a few times. I catch myself slipping back into the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and the feeling bad about not being able to do what I would be normally doing, and just allow myself to rest and get better. So when we find ourselves waiting with not calmness, when we find ourselves ruminating on what we're waiting for, we can just relax into the present moment. One of the tools that I use if I'm waiting for something, just picture that thing in my mind for a moment or two, and then let it go and get back into the present, right? To not dwelling on it, because the present is the point of power. If you are present, there's never any need to wait for anything, because you're just here. Because we're just here. If somebody says, oh, sorry to keep you waiting, you say, no, I'm good. I'm breathing. I'm enjoying life. You can say a little mantra, God is, I am, peace, be still, right? I was just standing here enjoying myself. Enjoy with myself. And this is also a barrier to be overcome in our prayer life. So many times we don't achieve what we're working towards because we think of it as out in the future. If I pray now, then in some future time, then maybe, I hope, please God, there'll be a demonstration of it, right? But remember what our teacher Jesus told us. He said, pray believing you have already received it. And God help me, Jesus help me. I'm going to amend his quote a little bit. Pray knowing you have already received it. Pray knowing is right here and right now, and all we have to do is to become aware of it. All we have to do is change our perspective and welcome that in and be that receptacle for what it is we desire, to be in that moment. Eric Butterworth, a famed Unity minister, said this: the only demonstration there is, ever was, or ever will be is in and of divine law, and the only time it knows is now. The only time Spirit knows, the only time the divine knows is right now. So anything we're thinking about in the present moment is the only thing that has power. To not put anything out there. When this happens, I will be. I am now. And you know what I say? I am are the two most powerful words in the English language. Whatever we put after our I am is what we manifest in our lives. It's what we create in our lives. So do not pray that you will heal tomorrow. Pray for the consciousness of wholeness right now. Do not pray that tomorrow or the next day you'll find a job. Affirm that you are in your right place right now. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Do not pray to become what you want to be. Know that you are it now. A perfect expression of divine right now, without anything changing. Do not pray for greater abundance. Feel yourself outrageously blessed and abundant right now. What does that feel like? So the difference between believing something is happening and knowing it's happening is we can embody that feeling of what does it feel like when we achieve what it is we desire. What does that feel like in our bodies? Our master teacher said this: "You say it is 6 months until the harvest, but I say to you, lift up your eyes, for the fields are now white with harvest." Lift up your eyes. Metaphysically speaking, we're talking about lifting up our consciousness, to not stay down here just in the human condition, but to raise our eyes up, to use our higher consciousness, our divine consciousness, to be in the present and know with feeling what it is that we want. I am whole and perfect. And let's remember when we talk about prayer, that prayer is not about getting God, that which we call God, to do something for us in the future. It's a process, prayer is a process of aligning ourselves with Spirit, of getting into that consciousness of the kingdom. Right? Kingdom is ours right here and right now. The kingdom of heaven is at hand when we become awakened and aware. And we use that higher consciousness, our awakened awareness, to know who we are and what we are right in this now moment. Again, in spirit, in that which we call God, there is no beginning or end. There's no timeline. There's only now. And in the now, we have everything that we need. Because we can always turn to the presence of the One. And that's where the power lies, turning to the presence of the One. The present is my point of power. Would you say that with me one more time? My present is my point of power. And let's just say it right now, the present. The present is my point of power. Now is the time to spring into that awareness, fully awake, fully aware, fully present to the beauty of life right here and right now, the wonder and goodness of this now moment. I want to leave you with this beautiful poem by that famous author, Anonymous. It's called I Am. You might want to close your eyes, or that's not necessary, but whatever you feel. I was regretting the past, fearing the future. Then suddenly, I heard God speaking. My name is I Am. God paused. I waited. God continued. When you live in the past with its mistakes and regrets, it is hard. I am not there. My name is not I was. When you live in the future with its problems and fears, it is hard. I am not there. My name is not I will be. But when you live in this moment, it is not hard. I am here because my name is I am. And so it is, and so we allow it to be. Namaste. Okay, we are moving into our celebration of abundance. And you see on the screen, and Sophia will put up on the video, the ways in which you can contribute to the work we do here. And thank you all for your continued love offerings, tithes, and gifts. Thank you to our consistent givers. If you want to know what a consistent giver is, there's a form in the seat back. most importantly about giving is I hope you feel the impact in your life and in the world when you give to the kingdom of heaven by giving through Unity of Stuart, because your gifts help to transform the world. Let's affirm our prosperity, prayer, and our love offering blessing together. In a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all of the needs of Unity of Stuart and those we serve are instantly, constantly, and bountifully met. From every direction, known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundant good comes to us now. We are grateful. Amen. And our love offering blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give and receive always in love. Let's sing about it. Maybe? We all give our gratitude. First Sunday of every month is Potluck Sunday, so that's July 2nd. That's a couple of weeks from now. We invite you to bring your favorite dish to share for Sunday hospitality. And I don't see any kiddos out there yet. T-shirts. Thank you. We have T-shirts for sale. They're helping,
Awesome.
They're helping with our roof and now our gutters and now our air conditioners are backed up for our fundraising. So if you'd like to purchase a Unity T-shirt, you can see Miss Nancy after she prays, or you can see May in the office, and you can tell May that you'd like to buy a T-shirt. How we doing, Russ? All right, let's stand as we sing our kiddos in.
We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. In the light of God.
All right, please be seated. Everybody good? All right. How's it going? Good. This is Daisy and Ross, everybody. They were filling in for Jen today. Anything you want to share? Sure. All right. It's on.
All right. It's on? It's on. Today, well, we all know what today is, so we spent time making little booklets for Father's Day.
All right.
And we had a lot of energy in the room, so we did play outside, we played inside. We did talk about, I guess we talked about our parents, our families. We learned, I don't know, do you think it's okay to share? No? Maybe not. Anyway, we have some athletes in the
Okay.
sanctuary, so we heard some stories. It was very cool to hear from Sam and Patty. So,
All right.
yep.
All right. Thanks, Daisy. Thanks, Ross. Thanks, kids. Any one of you want to share anything? Okay.
Now they're
It's
quiet.
psych. All right. Yeah. Of course they are. All right. And yes, I just want to tell you about the YFM fundraiser.
I think there's a few spots available, so if you do need to sign up, I think we have like 3 more spots, 3 cars we can wash next Sunday. And yeah, please sign up. It goes toward the rallies, which now we have, the reason
Yeah, so your supporting the fundraisers helps, it makes it a lot easier for us to send them there. That says only $10, but somebody else told me it was $15. So you can bring $10, you can do 15, you can do 50 if you want. And so, but please sign up, there's a few slots left, and because I think she's only washing 8 or 10 cars, something like that. All right.
Teenagers will be here for that.
All right, very good. All right, let's stand as we close by first blessing our kiddos in song. We love you. We bless you. We truly, truly appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you. And let's close with the prayer of protection and the peace song. And I'd like to remind that everybody wants to be holding hands now. So if you don't want to hold hands, just leave your hands down to the side. Just a little shake of your head no. If somebody tries to grab you. And just be mindful of that. Or you can just cross your arms in front of your chest. And with that, let us close with the prayer for protection and the peace song. Together. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine. All right, let's sing. 4, 5, 6. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Oh, she's just 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
One more time.